Good morning, students. Today we will start with the first chapter, and the chapter name is The Last Lesson. Now I want you to take out your English Flamingo book and you can open the page number 6, where we'll start the first chapter, The Last Lesson, written by Alphonse Daudet. Alphonse Daudet is a French novelist who has given his entire lifetime and career in writing only. He was not a very, you can say, a very brilliant child at an early age, but later on he started with his schooling and later on he became a French teacher. And this particular chapter story, The Last Lesson, is also a chapter which deals with the very important aspect of Franco-Prussian War. Now, two aspects of this particular chapter. The first, the Franco-Prussian War, which was a war in the year 1870-71. And the Germans defeated the French. The German troop was led by Bismarck. Okay, now the characters. We have the first character, Franz, second character, M. Hamel, and we have got some villagers also. Franz, a student of class 5th, M. Hamel, teacher French language, who has been serving in this particular district, or the school you can say, for the last 40 years. And we have villagers. Head postmaster, mayor, blacksmith. Now the story moves on where the Germans have captured these two districts, that is Alsace and Lorraine. And what has happened is they have imposed their own language. They have said that French will not be taught anymore in these schools, and instead of that they have imposed the German language that needs to be taught in that particular schools of French district, that is Alsace and Lorraine. Okay students, now let's start the chapter. Before we start with the chapter, you might be wondering why the chapter name is being referred as The Last Lesson. Now it is very important to know because this chapter or the last lesson is given by M. Hamel. M. Hamel, as you know, he is a French teacher, but as the German language is imposed, he is giving his last French lesson to his students. Clear? Now let me start with the chapter. The first, as the chapter opens up with, we know that Franz is moving to school. He is not at all interested to go to school because on that particular day he is being told that he has to learn participles, the French participles, but he has not learned a single word of French participles. He is being extremely scared. As he was just going to his school, he saw some Prussian soldiers drilling. He saw that it was a bright sunny day. He also saw that the birds were chirping, but he had the power to resist all these things and he wanted to go to school. As he just crossed the town hall, there was a group of people standing near the town hall. As he just turned back and looks at them, one of the person, he stops him and he says, "Son, why are you so in a hurry?" He says, "I need to go to school." And then he also sees that the people over there, the ones who have been standing near the bulletin board or the town hall, they are not in a very happy mood because that was a place where every time all the bad news has come. Now, Franz reaches the school, or you can say that Franz reaches the little garden. Here the little garden is referred as M. Hamel's nursery school. Now, generally when the school began, there used to be a loud noise. It used to be a hustle and bustle, and teachers rapping on the desk with a ruler, children singing the song or reading the lessons in unison. Now what is unison? Unison means group. There used to be a commotion. Commotion means a lot of noise, and rapping. Rapping is being referred as the teacher rapping the ruler, rapping the desk with the help of a ruler. There used to be a lot of noise generally when the school reopens. But on that particular day, it's been referred as the Sunday morning class. It was completely quiet. It was pin drop silence. Now here the Sunday morning refers as two things. The first, a school without children, and the second Sunday morning refers where the children used to go to the prayer, or you can say the church class. The church class also refers as the silent class. Now here also it was a complete silent class. And when Franz wanted to enter the class, M. Hamel looks at him and he says that, why are you so late? And we were starting the class without you. Come and let's sit so that we can continue with our class. At that point of time, Franz sits at the back bench and he listens to the lessons which are being given by M. Hamel. At that point of time, he looks at the teacher, and the teacher looks something different. Why? Because he is wearing a dress which he generally wears in an inspection day or school prize day. Like, he had frill shirt, he had green overcoat, he had a black hat, and he was looking something different on that particular day. And moreover, the most extreme thing that he has noticed was that the back benches which were generally to be vacant, those back benches were filled with the village people, and the village people were the head postmaster, the mayor, and the blacksmith. Now, M. Hamel says that whenever a country is being enslaved, the most important thing is that if they hold fast to their language, that is the key to come out of that particular prison. Here also he says that if you hold fast to your own language, that is French language, when you show the unity, it will be very easy for you to come out of this particular situation. But you need to know your language. That's very, very important. Now, as proceeding with this particular thing, now the chapter moves on and M. Hamel teaches them the grammar lesson. After grammar lesson, he distributes some of the pamphlets or the booklets to the children where they have to write their writing classes. As the writing classes begin, there was a complete silence. Each and every one is being silent and they have been writing their alphabets. At this point of time, there is a pigeon who sits on the top of the roof and that makes a sound. Listening to this, Franz looks out and he says, will they make the pigeons to sing in German? It's a big question. You can control the human being. You can have a mark, you can have a landmark, you can have a demarcation on the land or on the borders, you can say, but you cannot control the nature. That is something which is very, very important that we have to know. Now here the chapter moves on, and as the class continues with where a writing class and the grammar class, M. Hamel has the patience to listen to all his students reciting the poems and saying their ba, bi, boo. That is the language what they have been given with. Now, M. Hamel says that whenever a country is being enslaved, the most important thing is that if they hold fast to their language, that is the key to come out of that particular prison. Here also he says that if you hold fast to your own language, that is French language, when you show the unity, it will be very easy for you to come out of this particular situation. But you need to know your language. That's very, very important. Now, as proceeding with this particular thing, now the chapter moves on and M. Hamel teaches them the grammar lesson. After grammar lesson, he distributes some of the pamphlets or the booklets to the children where they have to write their writing classes. As the writing classes begin, there was a complete silence. Each and every one is being silent and they have been writing their alphabets. At this point of time, there is a pigeon who sits on the top of the roof and that makes a sound. Listening to this, Franz looks out and he says, will they make the pigeons to sing in German? It's a big question. You can control the human being. You can have a mark, you can have a landmark, you can have a demarcation on the land or on the borders, you can say, but you cannot control the nature. That is something which is very, very important that we have to know. Now here the chapter moves on, and as the class continues with where a writing class and the grammar class, M. Hamill has the patience to listen to all his students reciting the poems and saying their ba, be, boo. That is the language what they have been given with. Now M. Hamill starts the explanation, and the way he gives the explanation, Franz was able to understand each and every aspect of his explanation or the lesson, you can say. This has happened because it's not that M. Hamill has given his explanation rightly today. No, it has happened because Franz was not attentive in the class before these days. He was so attentive that he was able to understand each and every lesson very nicely. At this point of time, Franz looks at the teacher. The teacher moves here and there and he stands in a very straight position and he looks so tall. Here the word tall has got a symbolic meaning. The tall refers to the pride, the honor and the elegance for that particular teacher who has given his 40 years of faithful service to teach the French language to his children. And for this, he listens, the church clock strikes 12, and at that point of time, the Prussian soldiers starts marching and they are coming towards the gate. He looks at them and he feels that today is the last class, and from tomorrow onwards, this class will be taken, this place will be taken by someone else, and that someone else is German. The German language is imposed in my class. It's been imposed in my school. He feels so sad. He's not able to say something. He feels choked. At that point of time, he takes a piece of chalk and he writes something on the blackboard. Vive la France. To the top of his voice he says, long live France. And he just makes a face and he says that you can all go. The class is over. Hope you all have understood the chapter. Please read the chapter properly. Thank you.